Alright, so in the last video we did the header or the showcase area, so now we're going to move on to the what we do section. So we're going to go in the HTML file directly under the header. Let's put a comment here. We'll just say section and let's say what we do. And we're going to use an HTML5 section tag and we're going to give this an ID of what. Now if we look at the final version here, we go down to the what we do, you can see that there's it's a light gray background. Also there's some padding on the top and bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a class here of bg-light, and then I'm going to do a class of py-1. Okay, so remember, I think we did this in the hotel website where we had the padding classes. So the y is the y-axis. Basically, we want padding on the top and bottom, and we'll have py 1, 2, and 3, and bg light will be the light gray background. Okay, now we want to also have a container in here because we want the content to stay in the middle. We don't want it to go all the way over. And then we're going to have an h2. Okay, and this h2 is going to have a class, and I don't want it to be as large as the showcase heading, which has a class of L heading. So let's do a M heading for medium. So medium heading, and then we're going to have the text primary around the word what. Okay, so we're going to put a span in here with the class of text primary, and we're going to say what, and then after the span we'll put a space and say we do. Okay, and then under the h2 is where we're going to put our boxes, and we're going to just give this a class of items, which is going to be our flex container, and then inside our flex container we're going to have these 3 items as flex items. So let's just give them a class of item. So we'll do item times 3. So we have 3 items, and each one is going to have an icon. So let's do I class of font awesome, also a class of FA-university is going to be this first one here. And I want to make it a little bigger, so let's do FA2X. That'll increase the size. And then I also want a div with the H3. This one will say investment banking. And then under that, let's do a paragraph with, we'll do lorem 10. Okay, and then I'm just going to copy the icon and the div, and we want to do the same thing in both of these items. Except we want to change, of course, the icon. We don't want all the same icons. This one is going to be FA book dash reader, and then this last one is going to be FA dash pencil dash alt. And then let's just change the titles. So this next one, let's do portfolio management, and then tax and custodial. Okay, so now we'll save that. Let's take a look at ours. So it's going to look like this without any styling. So now let's hop over to style CSS, and we don't have the container yet, so maybe we should do that first. So let's see, it's basically a utility class, so we'll go right here and we'll say container. And remember, containers are, we want to restrict it to a certain width. We want to give it a max width, which I'm going to do 1100 pixels. And then let's do margin auto to make sure that it aligns in the middle. And then just a little padding. So I'll do 0 top and bottom, 2 rem left and right, and let's do overflow hidden. Okay, so we'll save that, and you can see we have some padding here, and this is going to stay in the middle no matter what. Another class we added was the M heading class. Actually, you know what? I think I wanted to, yeah, I also want the heading centered. So in addition to M heading, let's also add a class of text center. And we'll go to our style sheet and let's put text center, and I just want that to align the text to the center, so that takes in text align center. Okay, so now that's moved to the center. Let's do the M heading. So we should put that right under the L heading. I'm just going to copy this. And font size for the M heading, let's change that, is going to be 2 rem. And the margin bottom, we'll leave that. Line height, I guess, yeah, we can leave that as well. So we'll save that. Good, so that's a little bigger. Now we also added that PY1 because we need to have some padding here and at the bottom, so we might as well add our padding classes now. So I'll go to the bottom of the utility classes. Actually, let's go right above the button. It doesn't really matter where you put this stuff, but let's do class PY1. So padding, let's see, padding, I'm going to do 1.5 rem top and bottom. All right, and actually, you know what I'll do is, since we only have one property here, let's shorten this up a little bit. And then we'll copy this down, and let's do 2 and 3 in case we need to add more padding. So 2, let's do 2 rem, and then 3, we'll do 3 rem. So if we save that, now you can see that we have some padding right here, and if you want to make it bigger, you could give it PY2 if you want. Okay, so I think that's good for the utility classes. Now let's work on the flex items here. And we're also going to be styling the icon as well. But let's take the items. So I'm going to go down below the showcase, and let's just say section what we do. Okay, so we have a class of items that wrap around all 3, and we want to display as a flex box. So once we save that, it's going to align them. And let's take, let me just make this smaller so we can see both. Let's take each item. Let's see what I want to do here. Yeah, let's take each item and center it, center all the content. So we'll say dot item, and let's add a flex 1, and let's do text align center and save. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Let's also add padding to the item. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is add padding to the items itself. So we'll do 1 rem here, and then let's also do padding on each item, 1 rem, and save. Okay, so that kind of spreads stuff out a little bit. Now, let's see, for the icon here, I want it to have that green circle around it, so let's target that. We'll go ahead and do actually, you know what? Let's put the ID of what here. So what, and then items, and then item. We're just better targeting it. And then here I'm going to say what items, item, and then we want to target the icon. And we're going to add a background of our green color, which is going to be hexadecimal 93C. B52 gives it that green, and then to make it basically a circle, because if I save that, it's gonna, I hate how it just goes back up, but unfortunately we just have to keep scrolling back down. But you can see we have the green background, so let's add some padding. So we'll do 1 rem of padding, and to make it circle, we want to do a border radius of 50%. Okay, that'll give it that circle. So if I save that, there we go. We just want to add a little margin to the bottom to push the heading down. So we'll say margin bottom 1 rem. There we go. Now, as this gets bigger, the reason I'm using, remember we have the widescreen CSS? Whoa, that's not right. Okay, so something, what did we miss here? So let's actually go back to the section content, because that's where this overlay is. And I think it's because we have position absolute, we have top comes down 60, left 0. We should also add right 0, because this is positioned absolute. So we'll do right 0 and bottom 0. So we want it to start right on the edge. So I'll save that, and now it brings it back to the edge. So no matter how big or small this is, you can see the overlay still covers it, and it should still reach the bottom no matter what. All right, so sorry about that little mistake there, guys. But anyways, yeah, when we have a widescreen, I actually want the icons to go on the side here. But I'm not going to get into that until we get into the responsiveness. We actually start adding styles to the mobile and the widescreen.css file. So I think that we're good for now. In the next section, or in the next video rather, we're going to start to work on the who we are section, which if we look at this, it's just basically going to be an image over here and then some text over here with a list. We'll style it a little bit. Maybe we can get the clients in the next video as well. All right, so I'll see you then.
Living life every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Fuck me, I'm looking in the mirror, so foggy, but I've never seen clearer.